starting with a new mind. Okay. One of the things that my wife and I are founders, and we have a development, a community development company. I'm the CEO. We have some amazing partners that are working with us. We buy land, we build houses, and develop communities, primarily for our communities, and to showcase our culture. Some things that I emphasized last time. And one of the things that we emphasize to all of our clients is that I don't care who we are, how black we think we are, how blackish we want to be. We've all been tainted and poisoned with the European mind in one level or another. And for any of us to think otherwise, we're deceiving ourselves. So it takes some time. Once you come here, it's going to have to take some time to detox from that mindset. Because if we're going to function here effectively, we're going to have to learn extreme patience. Somebody know what I'm talking about. Learn how to adapt and to adjust, sometimes on the move. And sometimes we come here with a privileged mindset, like what we call the Karens back in the States. Because we think just because I have more money in my pocket than I think someone else has, because I may have more education than they have, because I've mastered the English language better than they do, I deserve to have my stuff moved immediately. It doesn't work like that, because I'm gonna tell you, you can yell and curse at people that live here and they will just look at you. And may go on their phone and watch YouTube while you're having an aneurysm. I'm telling you, things don't move as fast. But what we have to learn is patience, adaptability, the willingness to adjust, and we have to learn how to be tactical and strategic. The other part of that is that we have to learn how to be mature when it comes to politics and how it works. Other ethnic groups get things done because they understand how to play the game. Things aren't going to happen because of wishful thinking, because we think it's the right thing to do, because we're praying, marching, burning candles, burning incense, burning sage. All that is nice, but that doesn't move policy. Money moves. But at the same time, we have to have a code that we operate from. Because with my core group, I say this all the time. I do not want anybody close to me where the bag is the most important thing in their lives. Why do I say that? Because if the bag is the most important thing to you, what won't you do for the bag? You sell out your mother for the bag. We've seen it with every national black organization. It was infiltrated by one of our own to stop our own from moving forward and upward. Then the other part is unresolved issues that they can hold against you. It's better to let people know who you are than to find out who you are by surprise. So in order for us to have a community that thrives with one mission, and that is to win. How many of y'all play a game to hopefully win? You play a game to win, right? Mm-hmm. Talk to me, family. That's why I'm sitting. I'm not out preaching, even though I used to be a pastor before I woke up. All of us have been asleep for a while in some way or another. But I'm trying to make this as relaxed as possible. Because like I said last week or 2 weeks ago, this organization is a movement. It's not in competition with any existing organization right now. The reason why the birth of this organization has come to fruition is because the needs that we have don't exist in any of the organizations today, because that may not be their mission or their vision. We need political activism, and we also need an economic mission that unites us. And I call it in the spirit of the Ubuntu, meaning that I have because you have. Where we operate in love, in harmony, in oneness. Our competition is not with one another. I don't care if we have 15 real estate companies. The smart thing would do to come together and create some kind of consortium of some sort where we work together. Everybody may not like what my products and my goods are, but they may like yours. Mm-hmm. So I recommend them to you. But we operate under one umbrella. I don't care if you have 25, 50 hair salons. You operate as a unit under one body, working together. The Koreans do that. Why do you think they have so many damn black hair care spots in our communities? You can't even go get some shea butter, except you got to go through them. Some hair oil, you got to go through them. And they have, what's up, brother? In our community. And then we have the nerve to get mad about it. We can't even go get a chicken box with salt and pepper and ketchup and some hot sauce without going through somebody that don't look like you in our community. And we got a nerve to want to protest with signs and sing, "We shall overcome." Damn it, how long are we going to sing that? When are we finally going to get over? And then we have the nerve to come here and use the same strategies. It's not going to work. Because I'm going to tell y'all right now, the youth and younger adults aren't settling for that. They aren't settling for that. In this room right here, just as I speak, we have various skill sets that need to be garnered, that need to be harnessed, that need to be galvanized, experiences. We've been here, it'll be 5 years, and I'm wrapping this up. 5 years in April, I'll be here. My wife and I will be here. We came here and lived in this room right here. And we're grateful for Brother Prince, because this was our starting place to come back. We lived here in 2003 in Cape Coast, where 32 of us moved over here. What I'm saying is this: it's a new day. I'm a citizen. My wife didn't get her citizen because the government botched it up. The Wednesday where we all went to go get our interviews, complied with everything that was done, everybody on that day was knocked off the list. You would think a common mistake would be, oh, we messed up. Is something historical as this during the year of return? When 90% of who you marketed to were our people, and then you blocked it up and said, we can't fix it? Why can't you go to your boss and say, hey, we made a big error. This does not look good. Why can't we fix it? But now it's been almost 3 years and they have not fixed it. And don't give a damn about fixing it with any kind of sense of urgency. Of what?
Urgency.
Yeah. No sense of urgency. And then we have those that look like us, claim to be our spokespeople. I ain't never appoint nobody to be my spokesperson, especially somebody with questionable ethics. See, we have to have standards. Now, we know how to deal with them, but with each other, there's a code we operate on. We don't steal from each other. We don't lie to each other. We don't abuse each other. We do not tolerate women getting abused. We don't allow children getting abused. We don't like men being victimized and ostracized. We love each other, support each other, encourage one another, build up one another. If somebody's hungry, we make sure nobody is hungry and nobody is naked, nobody's without health care. This is how we have to operate because everybody else does it. In my hometown in Maryland, there's a Korean community. They come to Ellicott City, Maryland from Korea. They buy these big mansions in Ellicott City and wonder why. And then they have it's up in Jessup, across from the Jessup Penitentiary. There's a huge warehouse area where they store stuff. That's where all the black hair care products come in. And let me tell you something, how they operate. They all come together, live amongst each other. And they buy up every strip mall, every abandoned mall in our communities, every corner store. One goes in, and what they do, they have a pact. Everybody that has a store, they mobilize and they agree that 10% of their profits goes back to the house. So that nobody has to go to Bank of America, Wells Fargo, or anybody else to be put down. They have their own banking system. So part of what I'm hoping that we get from all of this, because this is bigger than just getting your citizenship, because once you get your citizenship, then what? We're still left out. We need to have access to government business contracts, because how the hell are you going to go to the black useless Congressional Congress and solicit for us to come here and invest, and you're not taking care of us that are here? See, we have to be unapologetically. What are we unapologetically pro Pan-Africanist blacks, Africans? I'm telling you, unapologetically, meaning that I didn't come here to beg, I didn't come here to borrow, I didn't come here on bended knee. We came here to add value to the land of our ancestors. That being said, we have to know that we have to have power, and the power is economic power, because here is money talks. Absolutely. Everything else walks. Absolutely. We should be putting money in and investing in whatever endeavors we do, not expecting an immediate return, because the return is the big picture. Amongst us, we have thousands of acres of land where we could build a new world. But it starts right here, right now, where every one of us duplicates themselves. And we start by spreading this new energy of being proud to be unapologetically in a historical diaspora. Or as Sister Erna always says, we're part of the 6th region. That they just gave us a symbol and a token. But a token means nothing if nothing is associated with it. It's like an apology for slavery, and you're not doing something to restore what was damaged. Imagine somebody busting up your car in an accident and says, "Oh, I'm sorry."
All the time.
Have a nice day.
They do it all the time here.
Have a nice day. Your car is total. Yeah. They might even give you a tank of gas. They give you 6 CDs to get on the Tro-Tro. But your car is still damaged. So we have to ask for more, because if we ask for more and expect more when we value ourselves. Some of us, we may not see the end of all of this, but this is for our children's children. Because I believe we don't die, we just go to another dimension. We become ancestors. So all I'm saying is that this is a new day, family. We need to galvanize. We need to organize. Instead of getting upset with the Koreans and the Lebanese, let's learn from them. Let's learn their strategies. How are they able to come into our community and get what they want and run things in our community?
Exactly. That's the question.
How is it?
What are they doing that we're not doing?
I tell you one thing, they know who to pay off.
Exactly.
We can't pay off nobody with a wishful prayer.
Right.
Whether it's shalom, assalamu alaikum, ashe, whatever. They don't get nothing done. What gets done is the paper. But at the same time, while we're working on that end, we need to be building collectively. We need to have a central system by which we can look at our database and say, I need a qualified plumber. I need a qualified builder. I need a qualified realtor that understands what I need, and a home builder that understands what I'm looking for. I need, instead of building schools, let's build school systems. We got educators here. I come from a family of them. I was a behavior specialist in Baltimore City schools. I was one that was called to fix the worst schools. We need a system. We got to stop thinking small and thinking great. We come from gods. That's what they thought of us. So I want you all to look at each other. Look around this room. We got different ages. Look what's happening around the continent. Folk are restless. Our people are restless all over the continent, all over the world. Food shortages are happening in the U.S. We are here, that's not for you to escape, not for me to escape. We're here to provide that pathway for our people to return. We need our own. Forget about the credit union that failed here. Just because one failed doesn't mean a new one has to fail. We need a new credit union where we have our own system, but we also need a proper vetting system, Because everybody that's black ain't black. Marcus Garvey said, he has no desire to bring every black person to Africa. Why? Some of them were no good there and would be no good here. Some of y'all know some. Some of us used to be some. So at this point, I want to turn it over to Brother Yao. I'm not Flavor Flav the hype man. I mean what I say and say what I mean. This is who I am. I live this. I don't believe this. I live this. And this is what we're here to do. We need security. We need our own monetary system. I want everybody here to write this word down. And like I shared with the team, the Ubuntu philosophy. Look it up. Put it in your spirit. It would get rid of jealousy and envy. Because that's how we have to move, in the spirit of Ubuntu. I have because we have.
I am because we are.
I am because we are. As they say in Jamaica, I and I. I and we. It's about we, it's not me. If this new world is to be, it's up to we. Say that with me. If this new world is to be,
it's up to we.
Say it with some power, family. We ain't no.
If this new world is to be, it's up to we.
Say it again.
If this new world is to be, it's up to we.
One more time.
If this new world is to be, it's up to we.
Give yourselves a round of applause.
Let him get on that.
Thank you for listening.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome.
Yeah, kind of keep it close.
Yeah, I'm not good at this mic thing. I'm used to talking out like this. Can y'all hear me? Yes. Okay. I'm first going to apologize a little bit. Everything Brother Joshua just, my name is Yahweh Chan. Everything that Brother Joshua just said is true, but what resonates most is what he said about having patience. When I first came, my young brother Casey asked me how everything was going. I didn't want to lie to him. And I said, if I talk about it, it's going to affect my entire mood here. But I have to speak because I need to let you know something, and then I apologize. I left on a trip last week, Thursday, urgently with my partners. We were kept away for about a week. When I got back to the house, it was almost burnt down. Huh? They got this stupid practice where they burn trash and burn.
Yes.
And not knowing that this is a dry season. So where I live, there's nobody else around. I live in an acre of land. It's all farmland, so no other house. But Wednesday night, I came home around 12. Wednesday, Thursday morning, the place was like a wildfire.
Oh my God!
My goodness.
And my family was in the other house. We have another house in Springfield. It came close to where the window is. It's actually burning the house. Like all around, banana trees gone, cashew trees gone, all the things like that gone. I came close to my son's window. The polytank is almost burned. If it wasn't for whoever I believe in, the whole place would have been burnt down. But what do? Brother Yashua said, you get upset, you're the only one gonna get blood pressure. They just got Osario.
Yeah.
So I'm inspecting the damage this morning. I'm shaking my head. I want to do something that I shouldn't talk about, but that's not the way to do things in Ghana. There's a way to do things in Ghana if you want to get results. I'm talking about the lobby group. Shouting is not it. Complaining is not it. Telling them that we deserve to be back because we're the children of the descendants, the victims of the so-called slave trade. That's not going to get it. There's a way to do things if you want results. So, having gotten that out of the way, I'm going to discuss, and I want to have a dialogue. How many people here know about the right of return? Who knows what it means? And you got your hands up. Okay. And I want you to tell us what it means, and then also I'm going to ask, what should the right of return look like? and we can maybe kind of talk about it. Because many people don't know it's all right. And I'm going to explain a little bit. But who, you have your hand up, you say, no, can you explain what the right of return is? And you need to come up. Yeah.
In your own words.
Anyone? Does anyone know what the right to return is? Please, just stand up and say something.
It's family time, y'all.
It's the right of descendants of people who were forcibly removed from this country to return here and to partake in all of the benefits of this land, to be a part of this land, to have ownership in this land. We don't ask for someone to share what is theirs, but to not stand in our way as we come back to get what is ours.
That's correct. But it's backed by a principle, a law that started in 1949. It was 5 years after the so-called World War, where the Europeans fought amongst themselves and dragged everybody else in. And it was mostly addressing the Jews. They were a powerful entity at the time, and they wanted a state of their own. So they were saying you have a right to go back to your line of origin. And so for the most part, you have a right to return to your line of origin by descent. That's where we come in. But I found out also that in it was 14 something, the Portuguese declared war on Guinea, black folks. And so in declaring war, we became prisoners of war. In subsequent decades and centuries, that contract that they had declared war was given to the Spanish, who declared war on us, and the French, who declared war on us. So the significance of that is, those of us who were sold, taken away, whatever you want to call it, we're declared prisoners of war. So now we need two new criteria for coming back. One is you are the descendant of those who were victimized. We have all right to be here unconditionally, to come back home. The other one is we're prisoners of war. And under the Geneva Convention, you have the right to come back home. If you come back home and the government here is not facilitating your right to return, then they're in what? They're in violation of your rights. So when we come here and we have to go down to immigration and get resident permit, how many of y'all got to go down and get resident permit? Raise your hand. Most of us. And if you have children, the amount of money that you're spending, then you have to get other documents. Now it's the medical records. Now it's the coronavirus. Now you're required to have other things that was not even there 2019 when they declared right of return. They made it harder for us, not easier. But the rhetoric is, come home, you're a brother, you're a sister. So let me give you a little bit of example where that came from. In 2007, Ghana recognized it was 200 years since the British gave abolition of slavery. So 1807, 207. They got together and they decided that, listen, we have this demographic, they call us African Americans at the time, people of African descent. It's a big demographic group. We can make $4 billion by welcoming. This was a task force that they put together. So they earmarked $4 billion that could be generated by welcoming us home. That's where it started from. It didn't start with 2019 with the President saying come home. It was a plan that they had, came out of tourists, Ministry of Tourism at the time. So I say that to say, don't be surprised that everything you're going through, if you don't see yourself being welcome, if you don't see the laws being implemented to facilitate return, that was not the genesis of it. If you don't see yourself having land rights or being recognized as Ghanaian, don't be surprised, that wasn't the genesis of it. The genesis was the tourism dollar. You can go back and check the record. So this is why, in this day, 2021, After 2019, they declared right of return. They made $2 billion. Then they came up with Beyond Return. Now they come up with something called the Homeland Return Act. But guess what? The Homeland Return Act is to target those outside who presumably have money and to come home. As Brother Joshua said, what about the ones who are here? There are people here many years, have families, Ghana wives, Ghana children, property, business, and you're not recognizing them. So what does that tell? It means to me that it's not a genuine welcome. It's other than what it seems to be. Would you agree? So if right return is not what it is, what should it look like? What are you expecting? What is right? What would you want to see done? Tell me, talk to me. What do you want to happen? What would you like to see done? Once you come here, what would you want to see happen? Say that, yes, I do. Yes, I want you to. I want you to talk to us. Come on up. Stand up, Queen. No, he's you can have the microphone. Come on, don't grab the microphone.
So we need that. We're being streamed live.
That's
So
right.
we need it's for our. Yes, because our.
I can do that.
Okay.
Sitting from my chair.
Okay.
The question is, what is it that we want, or what is it that Linda wants?
No, we collectively, what would, if you say return, what should that look like?
When I was sitting in my house in the USA, in my bedroom specifically, looking at my computer on YouTube, and Nana Ado came on and said something about, okay, come home. I was like, hey, he talking to me. Right then and there, I knew I could come back home. So I started the wheels in motion to coming back home. Because I thought, okay, I can come back home. I can get a place of my own here. I can have land here. I can get my 40 acres and the mule. That's why I came. And everybody I talked to about that 40 acre and the mule is trying to chop me. So I'm done. So you are my last resort here.
That's real talk.
That is real talk.
And your stories can be amplified. So many of us have come here and saying the same thing that you said. So let's look at Israel. What does right to return look like in Israel? And in 1949, when the Israelis, the white folks called them Jews, went there, they were the destitute. Not like they were rich, but they got money from many of the countries in Europe, specifically the United States. If you are a Jew, and by their definition, if your mother was a Jew, then that established you as a Jew. They also came with the second criteria. If you convert to Judaism, then you're also a Jew. The moment you step in the state, you get citizenship. Instantly. So you have direct citizenship. That's what it looked like. Let's take the definition from the north. We went to the northern region 2019. Despite all, you all hear me? Despite the rhetoric from others saying, come home, we went to the north 2019, about 34 of us. Sister Erna, you were there? Yeah, she was. Sister Erna,
in 2019?
2019, yeah.
Okay.
And the Nairi, who is the northern chief representing 3 kingdoms, heard that we'd come back. And I tell the story all the time, and I have to repeat it. He said, I never thought the day I would see my children come home. He's about 100 years old. He said, what do you all want? I'm talking about what should the right to return look like. He said, what do you all want? We call we treat as foreigners. We don't have any land. And we don't feel like we're family here. Within 3 weeks, after talking to his other chiefs, he gave us land. I was there the other day, vast amount of land. Because if you were disenfranchised, taken away, removed from your land. When you come back, you should have land. So what should the right of return look like? You should have land. We have land, I'm telling you, in the northern region, a place called Kurugu, and the other place is, mind slipping.
Not
No, not Nanarugu is where the Nayeri lives. Some company. But even on the second land, it's even bigger than the first. Before we accepted the first one, if this one is not enough, you guys have this one.
stretch of 18 miles.
As far as you can look to the left, to the right, the line is just up and down for you, earmarked for you, every one of us here. He said, you guys choose the land because if we give it to you and you don't like it, you're going to say, I gave you that land. So we saw the land and like it. Up to now, the land is sitting there waiting for you all to come and develop. Do whatever you want, farming, build, whatever. It's there for us. That's what the right of return looked like. You didn't get any fanfare, no TV coverage, but this is something that exists. Someone
Tangible.
who genuinely, say that again?
Something tangible.
Yep. Something, if you're genuine, say, come on, your family, you're my children, this is what it should look like. We're not getting this from Accra. We're not getting it from Jubilee House. The other thing he did was, he contacted his son, who grew up in his house, who happened to be the vice president. He raised me, adopted me. Within 3 weeks, we were called down to Jubilee House to start having interviews and start going through the fingerprint process.
Tell them why.
After, from January, February, March, all the way up to September, they've been stringing us along. So we all gonna get this. So we never did. Now I tie this into what I said before. That tourism tax force that they had, that earmark was for $4 billion. That's what they were focusing on. They were not genuinely interested in. Proof of what I'm saying is, look, 3 years later, they botched up a simple interview process, and those that were here and still here, they can't even say, okay, you made a mistake.
Right.
Those who were out of the country at the time you come back, you still can't get your citizenship. Why?
And some people have died waiting.
Many, and even now, they said, back in December, they said February, we're gonna have it. Have you heard that? Now we're going on mid-February. So that Nayeri gave us land, gave us recognition. He said, nobody can deport you. You all come this way, nobody can deport you. So the right to return, you should have land, you should have citizenship, you should be facilitated integrated back into the land of your ancestors. If that's not what we're seeing, then let's call it what it is. This is why, after all these years, 2019, 2020, 2021, not 2022, we're saying, let's get a lobby group. A lobby group with your lawyers. And you cite the right to return because it is a principle. It's a law.
International
It's
law.
And we're not asking you to give us 126. You are entitled 200 million of us outside. If we want to come back, however, you have a right to return. And that should be in policy, not based on the whim or executive order of any president. That's number one. Number two, we received our citizenship, but what was it backed by? What statute? What statute is under? What section 8(1)(a)?
It was an executive order.
Yeah, but even the executive order,
You wipe it
you
out.
still have to have something to cite the executive order.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't received it. So when a lawyer will question these things. So if this present administration leaves and the other comes and decide to reverse it, does that mean that was given to us can be taken away? So you have to be very careful. So a lobby group, you ask questions, a policy will be enacted. It will state under what section you're governed, and a whole bunch of regulations surrounding that. So if you come from DC yesterday, you know where you stand. If you go down immigration, they can't be telling I'm gonna charge you $2,000. And that's what's going on, folks. A lot of atrocities. So I hear it, I'm there. Sister Y'all hears it, Brother Yasha, we hear it, and I'm tired. I backed out of this community type setting, but with what's going on,
Can't help it.
we gotta come back. And why? I got my citizenship, so does he. She can get hers. Serena got her first 34, but it's not about us. It's about many young people. It's like young people are coming home. People are giving away, selling their houses, and they're coming here. So my mom say, I ain't nobody's fool. We ain't nobody's fool. Let's come together. Let's be intelligent, not just emotional. Emotional is important. That's why we're here also. But let's be intelligent and organize ourselves, structure ourselves. It can be done. I got a phone call from a brother, a very powerful man. This is, if I have a gift, folks, I'm saying right now, it's the ability to meet people or people coming to my life that can help the cause. I just say it like that. I ain't got a definition for it. A very powerful man. I've been trying to reach him for months. He was calling me on Friday, and I was able to. He gave me 20 minutes of his time. I was grateful. He's asking me about this whole right of return. He had called a couple names, DAF and all that. And he said I should come for an interview at a TV station. So I'm going to do an interview on Thursday, and it will be aired on Saturday. It's going to discuss our issues. It's DNTV, Diaspora Network Television. And it has a reach, Pan-African reach in the U.S. and all across Africa. And he gave me a couple of advice. And he said, listen, you guys can get this done. You can do X, Y, Z, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to have a meeting. But this, it can be done. But we have to come together. We got to strategize. It's feasible. And not just 126, not just 200. As much as us, if you want 100,000, a million, we should be able to get it.
And not just in Ghana.
Right.
Okay. So tomorrow there's a press release and a press statement issued by a group called the Right to Return Alliance. The sister, I've known her for 30 years. We go way back, but they go through the same fight. She's in Tanzania. The same things going on in Kenya, Namibia, wherever we relocate to. The governments are not thinking of our right to return. We're not even a blip on the radar. But we feel like it's now that we take ownership of this. Don't let someone else speak for you. And the press release is out tomorrow, and they will at the same time. It's on. I can send you all the link. It will be posted on the website. We will discuss the right to return and how we're gonna group together from wherever we are. So it's not just about Ghana. And if Ghana thinks that they're the only game in town, then we're at a disadvantage. It's not. So with that being said, we could have waited an hour. People are coming, but we didn't want to disrespect your time. I thank you for those who came on time. And we just want to get right into it. But if you have any questions or want to ask anything, go ahead.
Yes, greetings to all brothers and sisters. I am Norman, and my husband and I, Albert, we moved here in July this past year. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, my background is communications. I used to make my living being a long distance operator. So my lungs are quite well developed, and I hope that you can all hear me. I am just so encouraged by the collective of individuals who are thinking along these lines. You've asked a question, Brother Yao, what would you like to see? What is your idea of right to return? I think that there's some education that needs to be infused into not only the brothers and sisters that's coming, but also to the brothers and sisters that's already here. They don't know who we are as we're coming back.
Right.
I spent a good deal of time explaining to my Ghanaian brothers and sisters who I am. They address me as Obruni. They think that I'm a white person. They think that my pockets are filled with money and that they should have some of it. Mm-hmm. But they don't have the education. You know, when we were forced away from here during the transatlantic slave trade, of course, we suffered when we went to the points across the Atlantic. But they also suffered here.
Exactly.
Because they don't know what happened to us. So I would like to see at some point in time, maybe a right to return day that would be recognized by the Ghanaian government or whichever government is, the whole country, or I'm sorry, the continent. Right to Return Day. Educate and start with the children, start young, and let them understand that we are part of you and we have been away for a while, yes, but we are coming back. And we are coming back asking for our rights to be restored. So that's my objection. Yes.
Thank you very much. Well said. I forgot to mention, so back to the north a little bit. When they reminded us that many of us were taken from the north. A significant number, I even heard the majority of people who were taken from El Nino. You had to walk or you were dragged for about 6 months to get to Jamestown, El Nino. So many of us are from there. That's what the elder said. So since you're from here, we encourage you guys to come back. He goes, that's why you spend all that time in Accra and you'll never feel welcome because you're not from there. Your umbilical cord is here to the north. And he's telling us, come home. So that's another reason why sometimes we feel like we're not getting anywhere. Because those who were involved are not doing the right thing to correct their mistakes.
One thing to add about being up there, we made several trips up there. Not one time were we called Obruni or whites. Matter of fact, we went up there during a festival. We were supposed to meet the vice president at the time at the orders of the Nairi. And we were sitting there, and one of the elders, in the outer court, so to speak, said, "Do you know what these people, the people on the outside, are saying for all the people in the community?" We said, "No, we don't understand." He said, "They're saying, hey, you're our family that were taken away." So they have some knowledge of who we are there. Also, every December, I believe it's the third week in December, there's a festival that takes place up north where they commemorate them fighting and resisting the enslavers. And it would be amazing if those that they were protecting, the descendants would come back. But like, I believe it was a Muhammad festival during the year of return where one of the paramount chiefs came up and said, "Hey, why do you guys only come down to the south? Cape Coast, Accra." He said, and even up to the Ashanti region. He said, that's not where you all were taken from. Remember, before these invisible lines, there was not Ghana as it exists today, Togo. So that was a hub because I did my African ancestry. My ancestry is from Sierra Leone, Temne people, 100% matched my maternal line. But when I researched the culture and many of the cultural aspects, it's very similar, almost exactly like some of those ethnic groups here. So if you go by Chancellor Williams' philosophy, what he said in the destruction of the Black civilization, you had one group had to go this way, one group had to go that way, but they all came from the same place. So forget the invisible lines. There was something that took place. That's why I'm telling you all, when you ride up north, after you get off the plane in Tamale, which is slated for an international airport, and by the way, Tamale, in the northern area, the northern part of Ghana makes up 40% of Ghana's landmass. And in addition to that, it's the 13th, it's the fastest growing city in West Africa since 2013. Up there, you do not see motorcycles and trotros ride through red lights.
They have lights.
They have traffic. Oh, it's order. And the majority of the motorbike riders are women. Order. If a child molester, we were told this, if a child molester was found or a corrupt police officer was found, the chiefs, the elders and the chiefs will give them 24 hours to get out. Otherwise, they're going to be deleted. The stuff that we see because of westernization, It doesn't exist there. But the greatest part was that we were not looked upon as foreigners. They identified who we were. When we rode up there, how many of y'all know about those rides down in the country? I know my sister does. It's a feeling, a down-home feeling. When we were riding up there, we're like, something is resonating here that's beyond what I see. And it's the same way when somebody tells you when you experience going into the dungeons. You can't describe it to anybody. Even when you touch the soil here after getting out the airport, you can't describe to someone accurately what it feels like to step on this land. Am I telling the truth?
Absolutely.
You can do your best. You can send photos and video, but it just doesn't do it. It's something. So imagine that times 10 when you ride up there and you would feel that. You feel it. And then the people you see not looking at you, they're like looking at you with happiness. Because when that Nairi said he never thought in his lifetime he'd see the children of his people return, we up there trying, we all dressed up all nice, trying to look all important. And you can't help but welling up, and we all tears to hear somebody say, that's all we want to do is feel welcomed. How many of y'all know what I'm talking about? It's frustrating. This is why they think that we're so angry all the time, because we're tired of being disrespected, tired of being dismissed, tired of being marginalized, tired of being ignored. And when somebody says, hey, I welcome you, he also said, even if we came here naked and without money, they'd be obligated to restore to us land. I can't express what that felt like to us, to the point that every time I get a chance to share it, I share the same story that Brother Yao says, because it was almost like we were kidnapped, but you want to find your way home, and then you find a family member that you've never seen before wraps their arm around you, say it's going to be all right. We got you. Because I'm telling you, when we went up there and telling them about the nonsense that we were going through with the citizenship, they said these elders and chiefs said they were going to come down here and camp at the Jubilee House.
Yes, they did.
They said that. And we got a call that come to start your interviews, and of course they found a way to botch it up. But they were not happy they're not happy up there by the way that we were treated. That's part of being tactical also, family, is utilizing the resources that we have. And as the chief here will tell you, one thing folk are afraid about is folk are very superstitious here. And y'all know black folk are superstitious too. We scared of devils. But we love that devil that runs things over there, don't we? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Shay Whitey, the cracker, whatever you want to call them. What I'm saying is, if we really don't love them, let's wean ourselves off his tit and become self-reliant. That's the true test. The true test that we don't love him is that we begin to rely upon each other in the spirit of oneness. It doesn't mean agree. It doesn't mean everybody has to do things exactly the same way. Everybody can't be, I'm a sports guy, so I use a lot of sports analogies. Everybody can't be the point guard. Somebody got to come off the bench and hammer some of the guys to foul them out to get them upset off their game. Somebody got to pass out the towels and pass out the Gatorade. Somebody got to wrap the ankles when they get twisted. Somebody got to work on training and conditioning. At the end of the day, when the team gets the championship ring, everybody in that organization gets a ring. That's what we need, family. We need team players. Folks that are willing to say, listen, what do I have to lose, but what do I have to gain here? Like the sister said, we are at that point where we're saying, listen, I'm not going to come here and beg Ghana to do the right thing. If they don't want to do it, there's other nation. I got other choices. We packed up all our stuff, sold stuff, shipped containers over here. Our ancestors did that over and over again. They kept building after they blew it, burned it up, bombed it up. They kept on trying. We are testaments of that. The mere fact that you all are here, that we are here today, talks about our resilience, our power, our strength. our minds, our ability to overcome anything. This man-made COVID ain't gonna stop us, nor any kind of weapon that come against us. This is our legacy here. Let's make our children proud of us by looking at us and say, hey, listen, as I say all the time, a new chapter in the history books of Africans is being written. A new chapter. What are they going to say about each and every one of us when that chapter is written? What side of history are we going to be on? Part of those that contributed to what the paradise that we have existing now? I'm not a dreamer outside of that, some far-fetched dreamer. I believe we could have that type of living. Like you know the movie The Avatar that they copied our culture off of, or Wakanda? That's not far-fetched for me. Because I believe we could do, if we could do what we've done through the circumstances that we've endured, imagine being in a space where we could be free. Free. Free to design, free to create, free to grow, free to create, free to love, self-love. How many of us here suffer from some level of PTSD, experience racism? Look around. How many have been denied a loan of some sort, of any kind? Job, overlooked on a job. Moved to the suburbs and been put in the dumb classes because you came from the city. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Imagine having a school system by which the elders and the visionaries come together and say, this is the future. And we begin to educate our children to prepare them for the future, to create a pipeline to fulfill the future needs that we will have. Say it louder.
We can do that because the African Union has stated by the year 2063, they want the entire continent of Africa's educational system to be African-centered, to be taken away from what they have been learning in the past by those who had colonized them, but in fact, 2063, the entire continent of Africa's educational system to be African-centered.
You hear that?
We can do that.
Listen. Say it again, sister. We don't need to wait that long, no doubt. Look at this. Listen. A lot of people think that when they repatriate from Americas, whether it be from the islands, whether it be from the UK, they have to all of a sudden get rid of everything that you've learned. Certain attitudes, maybe, certain behaviors that we've acquired because, you know, we're wounded. We said we got that PTSD thing going on. We're flushing it out. Some of the things that we've gotten, our motherland needs. Most of the inventions in the Americas were done by our people.
That's right.
Even though the white man couldn't lay claim to it.
The patent office.
The .com was an African man. The cell phone, the computer chip, the traffic lights, the first automobile. I don't believe Thomas Edison did nothing, did anything. Yeah, he stole it. Seriously. The only thing they have mastered is the ability to steal and deceive.
Through the patent office. They created the patent
And
office.
profit off of it. And the other nations are realizing because we don't have that fight and resilience in us, because they've made us to be docile, that they can come do the same thing. Even our African brothers and sisters who don't know any better. And like the Queen said, they don't know who we are. We were even talking about during the year of return, why wasn't there an educational campaign for them to talk about us? But you know what? We got to own that.
That's right.
We can't expect anybody to toot our horn louder than we should be tooting our horn. But we think we need to come here and all of a sudden become everybody else and not be who we are. After all, who's everybody in the world imitating? Y'all ain't trying to hear what I'm saying. I'm putting on my preacher voice right now. Y'all ain't hearing me.
Who in this hell does everybody imitate from our dance, our flavor, our swag, our style, everything? And everybody's making money off of it except for us. We have to own our culture. We have to control our culture. We have to be fueled by our culture and the wisdom of our ancestors. They're elating that we're gathered here today and that we're gathered here to showcase everything that's in our DNA. We can create against insurmountable odds. Now we're in a space to create this new world and have the rights that are genuinely belong to us. We have rights to be here. It's a human right. But that being said, we got to do something now. We can't expect anybody to fight for us if we don't fight for ourselves.
Right on.
We cannot expect anybody to do for us what we don't do for ourselves. That's how we show our value. We got filmmakers that are here, that are coming. There should be documentaries, all kinds of stories and showcasing our stuff. You see these movies, folk here trying to, it's so funny. I saw a movie the other day, and it was a Nigerian guy, and he was acting like he was American. I'm like, man, his accent was real whack. But at the same time, they were imitating, the girls were coming into a party, hey, girlfriend. I'm like, where y'all get that from? All I'm saying is I don't look at that as an insult. I look at it as that, damn, what are we missing here? We're valuable, family.
Yes.
I say this all the time. Somebody says, well, what kind of African are you? We all are you. We the whole continent. They mixed the biggest, the strongest, the most intelligent, the most resilient to create those from the historical African diaspora. We're that Frankenstein's monster that they created and now they want to kill. Do y'all understand that analogy there? Costco's. Y'all see a lot of Kirkland products around, right? They coming from Costco. So all of a sudden, because when I came here in 2017, you couldn't even count the shops where you could find American goods. You couldn't find really Heinz ketchup. You couldn't find grits. How many of y'all like grits?
Hey, hey.
Who eats sugar grits?
I don't know what sugar. No. Y'all not from the South. Where y'all from? They must be from California or something. Y'all eat sugar with grits? It's butter and salt and not no sugar and grits. No. Oh, y'all insulting the grits.
See, that's the kind of fun stuff that's the kind of fun stuff family talk about, debate about, and argue about. But it's all love. But you couldn't find grits. Now you see Quaker Oat grits all over the place. At one time, I know there's some people here that's vegans and vegetarians, but for others, ain't nothing like some good cornmeal battered fish. The way we know how to do it. Or some real good collard greens.
Hey!
Hey! Somebody say something. Come on here. Come on.
He gave me the seeds. I'm growing.
That's what I'm talking about. Ain't nothing like some kale. Some mustard greens.
Put them out there. You watch.
Hey, look at here.
Some oxtail with gravy. With beans and rice.
Ain't nothing like some real mac and cheese.
Oh, yeah. Baked in the oven.
Look at my brother right here. He's shaking his head like, oh,
banana pudding.
Hey!
Sweet potato pie.
Oh, I gotta give y'all this tip. This family, right? We found some real good sweet potato pie here.
Uh-huh.
They deliver.
Uh-oh.
Bake Shop Classics.
Okay.
Write that down.
Bake shop.
Bake Shop. Oh my goodness. We ate some sweet potato pie. The one is one in Laboni and the one in Spintex. But the one in Laboni, I know they deliver. I'm like,
You're digressing.
I'm sorry. I'll get caught up. But what I was
Our
saying,
mouth start watering. Go ahead.
what I was saying is, there's no restaurant that shows our culture here. You see what I'm
They all
saying?
over.
Whose fault is that? There's nothing showcasing the type of entertainment we like. Whose fault is that? Dr. Claude Anderson said in his book, Powernomics, that we got to own stuff that everybody comes to us to get. That's what every other culture does. You want genuine Chinese food, you're not going to Rakim. You're going to Lee. All I'm saying is this is part of what we're talking about, aggregating our resources. Number one, putting together behind the lobbying efforts. Everybody here doesn't mean that you have to be a lobbyist. Get behind it. It's special people in this room that may be there, particularly attorneys and those that are strategists. You only need about 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 at the most. But everybody else is working the other plans. Because then with the lobbyist group, can only present to you, to whomever, what we have. The lobbyist group can present with the other work that everybody else is doing, say, listen, we have over 1,000 businesses. They're bringing into the economy $750 million a year. They're all tax-paying entities. That gets attention. Y'all feeling that?
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So one of the things we want to let y'all know at this meeting, we are officially registered. The African Diaspora 126 Plus Lobby Group. But our lobby group is officially registered. We are a legal entity in Ghana. All right. With that being said, the mission of the African Diaspora 126 Plus is to influence African governments to enact policies that create a strong, enduring, and mutually beneficial relationship with the historical African diaspora. The methods that we will use to accomplish the mission is to use the lobbying efforts to influence the politics through political contributions. We have to get politicians on our side. And we have to, it's the same way it works in the United States. The Chinese, the Asians, the Jews, they support certain candidates, and those candidates then give them what they want in terms of enacting policy. This is how mature political people behave, okay? And this is how you get things done. So this is what we have to do. And then we also have media campaigns to do what you say, to educate our people. Our people don't know. They are here, they don't know. Like she said, they think we come here with this tons of money, and it's not like that. We come here, we're coming home, we're trying to survive and make it like everybody else. I agree 100% what Brother Yahoshua said. Why don't we have a community where we have all the things that we like and showcase our businesses? China people got Chinatown. You understand what I'm saying? And every city you go is Chinatown, some Chinatown somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Why don't we have that here? Why isn't there somewhere when people get off the plane, if they want to go get some oxtail or some cornbread, you know, or listen to some blues and some jazz? We don't have that. We have to create it. Nobody is going to create it for us. All these things, we need money. Now that we are registered, what does that mean now? We need office space. We need office supplies. You understand? So all these things are going to take money, all right? And to be able to influence policies and politicians, we need money. So we have to start moving in a way politically mature people do, and stop begging and stop crying because they're not doing it. And let's make them do it. You know what I'm saying? And they will do it. They do it for everybody else because those other people come with the money. So we have to come with the money, and we can also get what we want. And then we have to create those spaces that Brother Yahoshua was saying for ourselves. We could create them in Cape Coast. We could create them up in the mountains. We could create them in Accra. We could create them in the north. So no matter where, and we can create them in other African countries. We want to be able to go to other countries that are asking, like Benin, send your delegates here because we want you all to come here too. We are sought after, but we're not organized enough to get what we want when we go these places. So that's why we're being taken advantage of here in Ghana, because we're not organized. We're not moving in an organized fashion, and we don't have money behind us, you know what I'm saying, to influence the way we are treated. That's why the Chinese can come and post up. They pretty much, the Lebanese and the Chinese damn near own Spentex. Yep. But honestly, but they've created what basically a heaven for them in here. Why can't we do the same thing? Our young people are leaving. We bring my daughter, and not just my daughter, a lot of our young people are leaving because we here have not created anything for them. When they come here, there's no job for them. There's nothing, you know, for them to do. If we had our own community, our whole economic system, then our kids can get plugged in. You understand? And they don't have to go to anybody looking for anything. We will offer it to them. So with that being said, we have an application. The membership, we decided, would be $100 a year. Okay? So we will make the application available. If you haven't joined the WhatsApp group, we have a WhatsApp group. We will put the link to the application. We need you to fill the application out. It's important for all of those in the diaspora as well as everybody here, because what we need to show these people is we have the numbers. Yes. So the application is very, very important. We need to show them we have the numbers. That we got 2,000, 3,000 here in Ghana, and we got thousands more in the diaspora that say the 120 African 126 plus represents our interests in Ghana and wherever else, so that we can get things done. If it's 5 or 10 people, then they don't care. But when we show them application after application, say, yes, this is our movement, this is our group, we have the numbers, then people will listen. You understand what I'm saying? So it's very, very important.
Why do you always come to dollars? I'm from the UK. We're in Ghana. You can be transferred. Why are we always using dollars?
Everybody use dollar, baby. So even here, they quote you. She said, why we always using dollars, quoting in dollars. Well, the dollar rule the world. That's just saying. Yeah.
Whatever the equivalent is.
Whatever the equivalent of that is. And you don't have to, it's not necessary that it's all paid at one time. Everybody may not have. So you just do the conversion. So whatever the conversion of that is in currency that
Focusing so much on the conversion, because I'm like,
No, it's going to do the conversion,
she's
because
not
any
talking
currency
about
can be
the
converted.
value. She's talking about why 100.
No. Why are you quoting US?
Because she's from the US.
Well, I'm not.
Okay, listen.
That's why she's using that.
Okay, listen.
That's the only reason. It's nothing personal. Moving right
It-
along.
I know it's not personal, but I just want.
It's a familiar point of reference. But can I say something? On the 27th of November, which is when this all started, we were in the north. I took a group there, and we talked about the same issues that we're talking about now. 2019, when we got our citizenship. Remember that. It wasn't planned, but on that day, about 8 people. I wish they were here. They're supposed to come here. They're not here. There's a group of 30 people left UK. They're in the Winnipeg. But about 8 of them came on the trip. And we said, let's take up a donation for the lobbying effort. We collected in that instant about $1,000 equivalent. Some were from England. They gave pounds. Everybody gave about 100 pounds US. We collected as much money that night as we all did 2 weeks ago at the Board Center. We collected about 6,000, correct? That night, just about 8 people gave 100 each. We got it. $100 is not a lot. Let me just say dollars in terms of reference, familiarity, but we could say pounds. We could say CDs.
the CD is constantly dropping. So
But the point should not be lost.
Yeah.
Because the fact is, what does a lobby group look like? I asked before, what does the right to term look like? What does a lobby group look like? And I want to give you an example. How many people here from Florida? Anybody? Florida. All right. You all know in Miami, when a Cuban leaves Cuba and arrives on the shore of Miami or even Texas, thank you. You know the amount?
I don't know how much it is, but I know they get a check every time they get there. That's what I'm from.
First of all, they get automatic acceptance, unlike us, right?
Yeah.
They get green card and they get money. Yes. It's called a wet foot, dry foot policy.
Jimmy Collins made sure
Yeah.
that.
But my point is, how did they get that?
a lobby group.
It was a lobby. The Cubans came there, formed a group. They paid the politicians. They became politicians. And now you can't. They own Miami. They own Texas. Just a small group of people aggregating their efforts, their resources, and what they have in common. And they put money down. So my point is this: we can duplicate this here because there's lobby groups that run the world. And so this is a nuts and bolt meeting. Many of us here are talented. Many of us came here to provide assistance. They've said, we're all ready. So this is the time. Fill out the application form, and we're going to structure some. Go ahead.
The application we did at the last meeting 2 weeks ago.
That was
just
a
registration.
that was basically for us to try to get gauge interest and see. But this is an actual application, and if you gave money at that time, then it can count towards your membership.
Another thing I wanted to say is the land in the north you were talking about. Why don't this is a suggestion that we get together and plan a trip where people could actually go and see the land like you guys have seen the land in the north. Why don't we put something together, plan a trip, meet there and see the land? And then it could be a fundraiser maybe to actually raise funds or whatever. But it will give us more something tangible that we working towards as opposed to just talk about the land in the north.
And possibly at that time you put the mechanics in place for someone to acquire some of that land.
The land is already for us.
No. Okay. So unless I can walk out there, unless I can just walk out there and say this is mine, there has to be a process.
Yeah, and also it's going to require giving us land, but there's no money to develop the land. It means nothing. It would just sit there.
Which
So
is why the fundraiser,
yeah,
right, of the trips might help and encourage people to invest
Right, if they can
We need
see
to
it.
survey it.
We do that. We do
Right,
that.
we did not know.
Exactly. So, how do we bring the most number of people on board? Membership, $100, that's all well and good. But we need to have some foresight. What is the agenda, right?
So
Lobby for what?
we are organizing committees. We will have a fundraising committee. You might want to be on that fundraising committee. You might want to be on it. So, and then you can help put that together, because we can look to us to do every aspect of this thing. This is a whole movement of all of us. You understand what I'm saying? So if there's different committees, we're going to have the lobby committee. We're going to have the fundraising committee. We're going to have the marketing and media committee. And all those committees will need operating capital to do the things that they need to do. So, like I said before, we need office space. We need computers. We need phones. We need everything you need to run a functional office, to pay utilities and all those things for the 126 plus. We're going to need it. So go ahead.
I want to answer your question. We've been asking for a diaspora desk at the airport and immigration. That would be sensitive to people who are earmarked or called people of African descent. We're coming home. It used to exist. No more. But why can't we have a place there when we're coming through the process differently as a unique group, different from everybody else? So we'd be advocating for that to be part of policy. Right? So the lobby group is about law. So when we're telling them what we want to see in it, it's going to resemble what I just gave you examples of what Cubans would look like. We ain't going to ask them for no money. But when we come here, we want to be processed eventually, short term, as citizens of this country. If not citizens, some kind of permanent residency status.
Until we can get to citizens.
And so these are things that we will be putting our legal team out. Unfortunately, the lawyer is not here. He promised he would be. Y'all know about the dreadlocks case, Achimota?
Yep.
This brother, I've known him when he had dreadlocks. He's now a lawyer. He's making a name for himself, but he won that case, he and his team. And when I mentioned what we're doing, he's on board. And he said, another thing we can do, there's something called a private membership bill. He said they can introduce, he and his chamber, his team of lawyers, introduce a private membership bill whereby we table, not waiting on the Homeland Return Act as they're putting it forth, but our own demands, what we want to see. And so it can be fast tracked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's another idea. So we're going to try different approaches. We'll go to the National House of Chiefs, whatever we need to do, but it's through our lobbying effort, a multi-pronged approach, which we're going to get what we want. That's why I asked, what do you guys want? How does this return look like to you? And then we all get together, we write it down, and we put it down.
Because a lot of times our issues when we get clumped into a big group, our issues get watered down. Mm-hmm. Just like in the States, we're clumped into the category of people of color or minority stuff, and our stuff is at the bottom when we may have initiated it. So like brother said, we need something specifically for us that we could push through.
And not unapologetically, it's for us.
Yes.
It's not, you don't.
Right.
you are coming,
yeah,
but you can't come.
Not under what we.
I didn't hear that part. Is it or is it not?
It's not. It is not that. It's for us.
Okay, so I need some clarification. Okay, I understood this be a collective of diasporans, and I count myself among the diaspora. Now, there's American diaspora, there's British diaspora, there's Jamaican diaspora, they're all diasporans. I count myself among the diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
What's missing, and I just feel a fear of, animal farm. Some are more diasporan than others. And the term, historical has been interjected, which is, I've heard it like 3 times today or 4 times today, and I didn't hear it at the last meeting except towards the end. And it's like, are we cutting off everybody else so that we, whoever we define ourselves as, are the history? Why not? The sister just mentioned it to me, and I will credit her. Pan-African. Why does it have diaspora? I get Pan-African. I get, but I don't get the historical diaspora. And I did not have any input on that.
Okay.
And I want to.
Well, let us explain to you what it is. The historical diaspora are the people who were taken away by and didn't leave on their own. You have a lot of people calling themselves diaspora or who are Nigerian and Ghanaian. They left on their own. They left on their own. No, I'm not talking about you.
No, I'm just saying. No, the definition, if you're taken as a child, how is it on your own? Or are you going to add yet?
Okay, no, listen, you're not, I don't think you're listening very well. So if your parents left, like if you are Ghanaian, your parents left and you were born out, you are diaspora, but you have a direct connect back. Your parents have a village, your grandparents, your cousins, you have somewhere to go. You know your land, you know where you come from. We, the historical diaspora who were taken.
So is there anything people like me?
What is
this organization?
Tell us who you are. We don't what?
I was taken away as a child. Okay? And I do not know my culture any more than you know your culture.
Taken away from where? We don't know.
I know that I was taken from. So are you just saying only the people who don't know where they were taken?
Okay.
I'm just saying we cannot start dividing.
Can I say, Madam?
What she's saying is this. When we say the word diaspora, as far as I see it, right? We're all one. But we're a race that has been displaced by desire. That's what I say.
Madam, if your situation then is different than our situation. But you know how? Because if you were born here in Ghana, you are Ghanaian, and you can get your citizenship if your parents are Ghanaian by birthright. You can go to the Ministry of Interior and get your citizenship. I can't just run over there and do that.
So this lobby group is just about citizenship.
No.
So I'm saying there are issues. And I am not different from a lot of diasporans who might not be historical, that we have a lot in common. You understand? I'm saying that this is a beginning agenda of citizenship. But unless we build the framework so that we can build on other issues together, we are cutting off our nose to spite our face. That's all I'm saying. Think about it.
If you go to the Diaspora Affairs Office of the President under Mr. Babbio, and they have the mandate to help people from the diaspora. If you go there and apply for a resident permit, and you are from Accra or Sierra Leone or Liberia, they will not facilitate you. Why? Because the office was mandated to help people of African descent who were affected, victimized by the slave trade. So
this is in policy, right? And he's
that's his mandate. That's his mandate.
As of which administration?
This administration. This administration.
That tells me everything.
So for me, diaspora means those who are dispersed. There's two categories. You have the geographical definition, and then you have the racial definition. And racially, we're African. So if you're African diaspora, those of us who were taken from here, however long, and were affected by the transatlantic slave trade, those are the ones we're talking about. Geographically, you can say I'm Jamaican, and if I go to Miami, I'm a Jamaican diaspora, but I go further than that. Originally, I'm taken from Africa. So we use that singular definition. People who were originated from the continent, not those who were born here and then went outside. You have the dual citizenship policy, which will address those people. Mm-hmm. You have the diaspora engagement policy, which will address those people who are second generation or third generation Ghanaians. So we're not talking about that. We have no law that covers people of African descent who want to return. So that's what we're addressing.
Exactly.
Yes, Nana.
and moving forward. That's what we always have to move forward.
Nana, you have to speak up.
The Africans always have to move forward. You got to keep moving forward. You just get this. African was taking some people to Timbuktu. They stopped in Bambara to get their supplies. They got the supplies, went on to Mopti, got ready to cross the river. We run out of food. You didn't do it well. You didn't figure it right. Let's keep moving forward. We go across the river onto Timbuktu. We run out of water. Hey, you're supposed to be a good guy. We done run out of water. Let's keep moving forward. All of a sudden, they saw some lights. It was Timbuktu. The moral of the story is, if we had stopped and addressed the lack of water, we would all die. The moral of the story, if we had stopped and discussed the lack of the water, we would have died. But the Africans said, let's keep moving forward. And we got there. That's what I want to say. The other thing I want us to know is there's a lot of people already know what we're doing here now. I was at the richest man's house in Accra. He lived in Tessano. He wanted to come and meet with you. I didn't say the African American Association. I didn't say the Caribbean Association. I'm saying this lobbying group. Yes, it is not going to be a problem in having a desk at the airport. So when people come in,
Right.
we can address them. I want, you have to excuse me, stand up. You, yeah, stand up. I'm gonna just take a little off of you. I want to introduce you if you don't know him. He has now put out the directory. And we're talking about a business directory. Am I right or wrong? And I hope they give you a little opportunity to speak on that in a minute. The other thing I want to say, with all due respect, we need capitalism. Now, if you don't like it, okay, don't be mad. Okay? Without money, there's no honey. Okay? I'm tired of begging. You have to excuse me. A lot of nonprofits beg because they don't have a product to sell to generate money. And I want to be on the capitalistic wing. Now, the brothers who are good, excuse me, brother. Listen, we got to be real. You go to school to learn how to get people to give you money for maybe non-tangible things. How many here got a business? I mean, when you sell something, a service or a product, and you want that business to grow and grow and grow. Well, I'm simply suggesting, maybe, sir, that should be a committee.
We do have that.
I'm just saying, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this is coming forth, right? But I'm saying that's one thing. Muhammad, I was with him 2 days ago. He wanted to meet with you. If he becomes president,
It's an ally.
He's an ally now. It's a lot of people come to me. Okay, I'm supposed to be the chief of the African American. I'm not. Okay, that's what they want to make me. I'm a chief for everybody. Okay, I'm a chief for me. I'm just simply suggesting there is a lot going on that we don't know about. That is money for us, support for us. We talk about politics. Yes, politics for us. Okay, the chief who made the president, the president here, he didn't make himself. I was with the chief who made him, who went to the Ashanti meeting to get the Ashanti meeting, to get all the Ashantis to support him to make him the president. Do you know who the president gonna be the next time? Do you know it's already been decided? It's already been decided who's gonna be the president the next time. So if you know, then you need to be in that camp. And if you don't know, then we need to have, if all 4 of y'all are running for president, we need to have you over in that camp, you over in that camp, you over in that camp, you in that camp, and we don't care who wins, because whoever's in that camp will bring us in.
Exactly.
And we
So-
don't have no enemy.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
I'm a businessman.
Exactly.
I'm a businessman out of Chicago. He's out of Chicago. All those out of Chicago, raise your hand. Okay?
All right, Chicago deep.
And so I'm just simply suggesting that we deal with business and we deal with politics.
So Nana, we have committees, some ideas for some committees. If you have some other ideas, let us know. What do you think? But if you want to be on any one of the committees, then you send an email. Let me tell you the ideas that we have. The fundraising committee, the youth engagement committee. We got to engage the youth.
Yes.
The business development committee, marketing, social, and media committee. We need some of y'all young folks to run our social media page. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And to put information there and, let people know what we're doing and what, recruit people. And then the lobby committee itself. So those are the ideas. Yes, sister.
I have an idea for a committee. Just as I'm trying to, as I'm listening to everything, formulate kind of what my ideas were. So kind of like, as she was saying, there's people who are in the diaspora who might not meet the definition of historical diasporans who were displaced due to the slave trade. So I'll just give a bit of information about myself. So my name is Yvette Tewia Kapate Arthur. My dad was born in Ghana. He's from Second East Africa. My mom's from Namibia. See, I went a lot in Namibia. So it's Southern Africa. And I was born in Canada. So here's just a quick of my story. So from my mom, so this is displacement from Africa, not due to the slave trade. But this is where it's interesting, because when we're talking about the community of education, so the year of return and maybe also the year of relearn and because learning is very important. So a lot of people don't know what happens on the continent in a lot of different countries. The continent is very, very big. And like we were saying before, we all have PTSD living in, wherever it is, whether it's UK or whether it's Europe, whether it's North America, South America, wherever displaced from Africa, or Canada, but then also the people on the continent were damaged as well, very hurt. So in Namibia, so my mom was born in 1956, and in 1966, so this is, Namibia is right, if anyone doesn't know, you have South Africa and Namibia on the western side, so it's right on, it's a pretty big country. And so in 1966, so when my mom was 10 years old, this one apartheid was going on, Mandela's in jail, the white South Africans, the white military moved into Namibia to continue the apartheid regime. And so at a very young age, my mom joined the freedom fighter movement. So she was in guerrilla war in the bush, fighting against these people, especially in the northern part of the country. And so in 1974, all the freedom fighters were exiled. They said, get out, you're not allowed back. And so they dropped them off at the top of Namibia, and they had to walk for 2 weeks they walked to the capital of Zimbabwe. So they just walked. My mom said they went in 3 groups. The women and children were in the second group, and it was just bush. They're walking with women and children. Supposedly, there were people watching the bush to protect them to make sure they got on their way. So from there, the United Nations, they set up refugee camps. Yeah, right there. So just to say that, from there, my mom went to Bulgaria. They sent her to Bulgaria to do her schooling, but she wasn't allowed back home. She doesn't have any other place in Africa. So basically, you're not allowed back to Africa, essentially. Then she went to Italy. Now I'm born in Canada, so she made her way to Canada. So that's to kind of say there's a lot of different diasporans who come under different circumstances. And as a committee, it'd be good to eventually have something where it's like those differing circumstances of diasporans. Even if it's like that, like you said, at the airport, to have the booth, but to also have people who don't fit in that same, because there's a lot. But just to kind of keep that, and then also the learning aspect. So to find a way to kind of teach what happened through the entire continent, to know who we really are, kind of everywhere and stuff like that. So
Yeah, but just as weird. I know it's like a hot topic, so just
We got you.
Yeah, that's where she's kind of
Okay.
coming from. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sophia's next. Sister Sophia's next.
Go ahead, okay.
We're not going to exclude anybody. As a matter of fact, our lawyer is Ghanaian. Sister Ya's husband's Ghanaian. We're all going to be helping each other. We're just addressing the policy part of the right to return. But all of us are going to be working together to be inclusive as people touch on wherever you come from. That's our philosophy. So nobody, even when we go to the north, we're going to be working with our brothers and sisters. So I have a friend, he looked like he left, but he was born here, left when he was 2, grew up in Trinidad and New York. When we went to get his passport, he wanted to get his passport, they gave him a hard time. They even tried to arrest him because he didn't speak the language. So what definition does he fall under? They didn't recognize it. So for us, we're inclusive. As long as you're Black/African, we're working together. The white man don't make that distinction when they're out there, right?
Yeah, because in the States, when they say people of color, they put in the Indians, they put in the Spanish, they put in the Asians. That's all we were talking about, is that we ain't doing that. It's not for that.
Okay. Greetings to everybody. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
All right. Can you hear me better now?
You gotta, if you put it there, you gotta just speak up.
All right. So, greetings to everyone. As I'm sitting here, just like all of you, I'm a very sensitive person, so I'm picking and I'm feeling so much energy. And most of what I'm picking up and feeling is so much emotion, because we are people of many different backgrounds, and our many different backgrounds have not had a voice. You understand? So there's so many of us who are looking to be heard, who feel like, I got something to say, because their ancestors do have something to say. And sometimes they use us to, you know what I'm saying? And so I was asking for some water. I would like to acknowledge just that aspect of where we are on the continent and our traditions and our spiritual connection to each other, to this land. We need to open up our meetings with corn libations. We need to ask the ancestors' presence. We need to ask for coolness, because we come from so many different backgrounds again, and there's so much emotion, as rightfully so. So I'm not a person that's about right or wrong. I'm like, but let's get to the end result. So today we have an agenda. No one is more important than the next. However, we have an agenda for today. If we don't learn how to stay on point and focus on what it is that we came to do right now, today we're serving this. Tomorrow we can serve something else. The next day we can serve something else. So if what we're serving today is not on your menu of what your appetite is, have patience. It's not that you're not going to be fed. It's just that we can only serve so much in one day. You understand? So please allow everybody to hear what the agenda is, what is actually on the menu. And if you hear something that is not, in your menu or what you feel like you need, you like, wait a minute, I can't eat peas, I need broccoli, something's missing. Please, at the end of the meeting, come and have a conversation. But we can't take up too much time, because the meeting is set for a certain time and everybody got lives, and we want to respect the space. We want to respect everybody else's time and energy as well. So we have to stay on point when we have these meetings. We have to stay focused. It's not that you're not going to be heard and you're not important. Thank you, dear. It is important. Yes, I get it. We all get it. We all feel it. But we have to start off in the space of, we are all on the same team. We are all part of the same family. We all want the same things. And so at the end of the day, nobody is your enemy here. Nobody is trying to overlook you. We all understand that we have been displaced. We have been abused. We are the most traumatized people on the planet. And we have to have something towards our healing and mental health.
All right. I say. And normally I do. we forgot, we overlooked, but we
But
know
guess
we
what?
know we're supposed to open up with
Moment of silence
Yes.
to accommodate everybody.
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not just on you.
Mm.
It's not just on you. It's not just on you. It's on all of us, you know, because everybody's sitting here. Somebody, oh, my dear, sorry, we forgot to pour libations. We forgot to, you understand? It's our responsibility collectively. Because this is what we're talking about. So it's not on one individual or a group or a small cluster. It's all of us.
We got you.
Share this energy. So please, I would like to ask humbly that all of us, we do our best before we come to the next meeting to take cool water to our mouths, take cool water to our head. If you put honey on your mouth, pray, ask your ancestors, ask the energy and your guides that walk with you, say, hey, let me have a cool mouth, a cool head today, and make sure that whatever I have to speak, whenever I have to bring forth whatever energy, whatever knowledge and information that I am come to share is done with the coolness, because we are all on the same team. There are no enemies amongst us. And if there are, trust me, they will get winged out.
Ashe.
So please, with coolness, we pour libations to those ancestors who feel unheard.
Ashe.
We pour libations to those who have been lost through the transatlantic slave trade, and also through the wars, through the biological and physical and chemical wars on the continent that has been displaced.
Ashe.
We pour libations to all of our ancestors, both known and unknown.
Ashe.
We pour libations for the work that is being done for the people that are yet to be born, the children and their children. We pour libations to the spirit and the willpower for them to be here, because we are here because our ancestors were here. They suffered for us to just exist today and to be back here on this land. We pour libations for us and going through our process of whatever that process looks like. You understand? Whatever that pain is, it is worth it, because somebody endured and went through that for you to be here. It is our turn to put in that work for the next generations to be here. I pour libation to all of you and your pain and your suffering and your healing processes, so we all get the healing that we need, so that we can collectively work together to get the freedom that we are all here to maintain and bring forth, not just freedom in Ghana, but freedom for the continent of Africa and the world.
Ashe.
Ashe.
All right. So again, if you're in the WhatsApp group, I'm gonna come to you. I want if you are in the WhatsApp group, or if you're not in the WhatsApp group, let me know before you leave so we can get you added in there. If you're in the WhatsApp group, the link to the application is there. Talk to other people. If you are watching this via the live stream right now, look in the description box and there's the email address there. Contact us. We will send you the link to the application. We need numbers. This is very important. I can't stress this enough. We need numbers so they can know we're serious. We need numbers. You understand? There's a couple of questions. We don't. No, I don't want to do that one again, huh? Yeah, if there are any new people here, if you're new and you're not in the WhatsApp group, I can put you in the WhatsApp group, and then you can get everything from there.
When we address the body, I would love it if you could identify ourselves.
Okay.
The sister was lovely, but I don't have a name.
Oh, Afia? Oh, okay.
Also, everybody, for the applications, be as detailed, especially with some longer questions. We want to know who you are. If you have skills, because Sister Erna will tell you, how long you've been trying to get a skills bank? Yes. Listen, we need to know who's amongst us. Because you know what? We are each other's solutions. Ain't nobody coming to save us. We saving each other. So we need to know these skills that are amongst us and who you are, where you come from, your background, all these different things. And we need a photo so we can put the name with the photo. Okay? And for those, and understand this, family. When it comes to the lobbyist component of this, there will be, for that, especially with very sensitive components of this. There will be a vetting component with that, a higher level vetting component, because you don't need somebody, not that anybody is here like that, because you know that the other people on the other side are going to know who we are. And you don't need somebody that's got all this baggage that's representing the collective and they hold it against us. So we need to know that stuff. So be prepared for that, okay? Because this is serious business.
Yeah. Again, if you want to be on any one of those committees, send an email to me or to the 126 plus movement at gmail.com. Okay, he had his hand. Okay, go ahead, sis.
So, Mama, you said that today was going to be a working committee, a working day, and we're getting into committees and that. So that's why I'm here today. I'm here to work. My name is Victoria Wandero. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I'm a daughter of the Black Panther Party, the Panther Cub, Los Angeles chapter, and the Bay Area chapter. I taught in Oakland public schools. I taught in the San Francisco public schools. I was the only teacher at Malcolm X Academy for 5 years, and that is why I had to leave the public school system. I'm holistic healer. I specialize in birth work, mental health, health and nutrition, and I'm here to get active. I'm not here to keep meeting and talking. You said it was a meeting day. What are the committees? What can we do? Can we break up? If you want to do fundraising here, if you want to do education here, what is the plan? I'm not here to sign up on any more emails. I want to give them my proof and let's move forward to lobby.
What committee do you want to be on?
I want to be on the spiritual committee where we make sure that everyone is in order and healthy and well. I want to be on the youth committee where the young youth leaders can come together and support. That's the committee.
Okay. All right. So fine. Beautiful. We did decide that we wanted to get applications on everybody so we can know who everybody, because it is kind of sensitive what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Going for
content and marketing. Social media.
Okay, but anyway, so we know that Sister Victoria wants to be on the youth committee. If there's anybody else here, please get with Sister Victoria before you leave to be on that committee, and I will get those applications. I still want the application. I still need to know who's on those committees. I still need to talk to everybody. We can come have sit down in my office, and so we get to know everybody.
Can we break into groups today? Like, if you're here, you're not here sitting. Like, let's break. I'm recommending if we can break into groups, get with your committee, and then part of the agenda is do your application right there. Set up your meeting time.
The application. If are you in the group? Is there. You can do it right now. That's why I say it's inside the WhatsApp group right now, so everybody can do it right now. All right, go ahead, brother.
I never received anything in terms of the WhatsApp.
Oh, really?
However, here's my question. Are we intending to have another meeting like that?
No. Going forward, we will be in the committees. The committees will break into subgroups, and the committees will work amongst themselves on what needs to be done. But in terms of this, it'll just be us disseminating information through our media, social media, through the WhatsApp group and stuff like that.
It's all.
Fundraising committee, youth engagement committee, the business development committee, marketing, media, and social media committee, and the lobby committee.
So education is not on.
I asked earlier if anybody had any ideas, any other committees we need. Okay, so we can have an education outreach committee. That's fine. I think that's needed. So thank you.
Listen, family. It's important. Originally, it was going to be a working meeting like that, but it's important to be organized, whereby where we're strategic. It's important that we understand who everybody is, and we have data to back that up. This is why, again, patience. We could jump out there too soon, and we'll miss the mark. From here, we're gathering all the information because we may look at this and say, hey, another committee is needed, or who's better suited for whoever. It's almost like draft day for a team. We got to see who we got and then be able to set up the committees, because we're going to start using technology. I don't know how, if y'all, everybody's familiar with Zoom. We could have a general Zoom meeting, and you can, in the Zoom meeting, break it off to committees and have sub rooms. So we're going to use technology. That way we're not all out in the open. Somebody may say, well, we don't know who's on there. Guess what? You can block people from those things too. But at the same time, I believe that these efforts are going to be so tight that we will check each other and we'll learn each other's personalities. But before we start breaking off into committees, it's important that we gather everybody and see where everybody's interest is. Because we may have a list here. We may realize that nobody's interested in this at this time. And we say, hey, we have 100 people that's interested in the education part that we didn't even consider as a top tier organization or committee. So this is why we need to take this time now to give everybody, fill this out, because this also shows who's really serious and who's just talking. So it's not a stumbling block. It's not a waste of time. It's important because if you wanted to go join some real other organizations, historical or present, you're just not going to walk in the door and just go join the committee.
Can I just say, don't you think committees or we need to meet up so that committees can just feed back to each other and all go off and come together at some stage?
That will happen. That will.
If everybody here today has this application in today, it immediately comes to our email and goes on a spreadsheet. It goes right there. Before the week is over, everybody will see all the different committees and who's interested in what. It'll be broken down like that. And then it'll be broken off into the subcommittees. But we got to have order. That's all I'm saying.
So when we get a list of the secretaries and the treasurers and that kind of stuff, y'all chose those people?
So again, all that will come from when you fill out application. We see who has what skills, and we go right to Excel. Then we can kind of subdivide.
Okay.
It's on the application.
But they still want suggestions from you guys of other committees.
Exactly.
If you look at the list and you say, oh, I think we need to have this committee, you can make that suggestion. And we're not saying we got it all. That's why it's a group effort.
If you weren't here the last 2 weeks, then just write your name, and we'll put you. But else will make sure you're not fill out the application form. I think Ernie, you were not here, so just come up. We'll put you on it. That way you have access to the Facebook and the platform, and then
because the last meeting was just an interest.
The last meeting was just to
gauge interest to see if the lobbying group effort was something that our people wanted. Then we got the positive response. Yes, you want it. So now we are organizing it. Okay. So with that being said, Brother Nadia, I've added you. You're in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So yes, Brother Euro. Oh, we did get a phone and a phone line with a Momo dedicated specifically for 126 because none of us was comfortable with you all sending money to one of our phones. So I don't have a credit card machine
but we can work it out. Whatever
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll get it done. We'll have that answer before the week is over.
Okay.
Will a copy of the registration be on the WhatsApp?
Or
can it be put on so that we have the particulars?
the registration?
Yeah, you register with the Registrar's General Department in terms of this particular entity.
Yes.
I can put a copy of our certificate of incorporation. Is that what you want? Okay.
But we're going to need other board members. We're going to need all those type of things. Remember, we're just the people that came together and said, this is a need. We can't do this without everybody doing their role. I have a business that I'm running. And also I'm helping to organize the economic component, the Ubuntu business platform. And so I'm not a lobbyist. I know I'm a team builder. I know what I do. And I know what my limitations are. That's important being a teammate. And so I'm here because I believe in this. I believe this is necessary. Okay. So this is why we need everybody to fill out that the membership application, so we know how to best utilize everyone's gifts and talents.
Okay. 1 o'clock, we want to be
I know that we're all going high tech. Are we leaving anyone behind? And that has to be a consideration. We can all, have a fast moving car, but some of us are in a slow moving car. Are those going to be left behind? I think that just needs to be a consideration. Everything can be high tech. How many of our people are going to be left behind?
Now, let me say this. I'm a BBC guy like you, born before computers. So you and I are going to be on the same page, bro. Whatever it is, I'm going to take you with me because I'm not in all high-tech stuff with Brother Joshua, but we will not leave you behind. Just let us know what the best way to reach you, and then we'll do that, all right?
This is where community comes in. Because if someone does not have a computer or smartphone to do the application or whatever, we go and help them. We walk them through the process. If somebody has, let's say somebody got a hoopty with Maypop tires. Y'all know about the Maypop tires? They may pop anytime. We pick them up and get them in the car. We roll them down the road. But that's when we got to help each other out, okay?
Okay, so family time.
I just want to say one thing. I filled out the application online, not the application, but the inquiry. So when I came to the meeting, I didn't fill out the form, but I did put the meeting. Luckily, the sister sent it to me. So
Are you not in the WhatsApp group?
I'm not in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, we got to add you.
But I did fill out. I did take the time at home and fill out your inquiry. So I thought I was automatically.
That was a spreadsheet with all the people who signed up at the last meeting, and my understanding was that all those people were put into the WhatsApp group.
But anything after that, that was like a certain.
Before I left the house, you guys were sitting there.
Okay.
Fill out this
Okay.
So before I came to the meeting, I had filled it out.
Okay.
So I thought automatically, why would I double do that?
Yeah.
Because I did not add it to that. I didn't add it.
You're in the group now.
All right.
So listen, Casey, a young brother, did all that. Casey, want to explain how that worked?
Yeah, so there was some.
Can you speak up?
There were some phone numbers that were put in that were not phone numbers. We put like the WhatsApp group. I checked the bunch list, trying to make sure everybody was counted. The number was submitted, and I didn't put it through because there was something wrong.
And then one more thing, it's our Black History Month, of course, and it's Bob Marley Day. And I just wanted to say to the committee, for the next 12 months, the Sister Vivian is going to donate 100 US to y'all.
Hey, thank you. Right. All right, all right. Ashe, thank you, sister.
I had one disagreement. I don't agree that the money we gave 2 weeks ago to go towards your membership. I think everybody should donate a fresh $100.
Anybody who wants to do that that's fine.
I would like to donate mine for $640.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Brother D, would you mind doing that last week? You did a great job just collecting money.
And yeah, we need to get their names.
Brother,
My name is Coach Wamagana.
We need to get their names and the amount that they donated, please.
I got it. Let me have your book. I need your book. Because that's why I wrote it. Yeah, I wrote it in your book. So you want me to do it, I'm going to do it like I did before. What's up, Bob? Thank you for your great facility. We pray that it continues to grow.
Okay. Absolutely. Just put that down there. Put your name there so we still know. Okay.
Is your local number on WhatsApp? I don't know why I don't see it. I know it is.
If there are no other questions or comments, we're gonna close out.
No, you can't close out.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so based on the sister giving $100 a month, a corporate account, that inspired me. Our company, Astar, which is doing commodities, will do the same. $100 a month towards the group, because of your inspiration. Yeah. Even though I gave my $100 membership, we also gonna do that. All right.
I gave my $100 membership too. Now I'm just letting y'all know. We all gave our money too.
Before we go any further, please, I mentioned a group on the 27th of this year, 27th of November. We took a trip to the north, and we do this regularly. So anybody who's interested in go to the north, this is what I do. I organize it. My people from Winnipeg, they came all the way from Winnipeg. Y'all know where Winnipeg is? Central region. It's kind of far, so they came a little bit late. But I would be remiss if I did not introduce them. They gave, each of them, we gave about $100 each that night, and we collected almost 6,000, 4,000 something. Out of that 4,000, it enabled us to get register the company right away without me coming to the group and ask. We had that money sitting down. So out of that 1,000, out of that 4,000, I documented.
Yeah.
We paid about 2,000 in expenses, including to accelerate the process for registration, or else we wouldn't have this done today. So with about 2,200 remaining, which I will send to Sister Ya, and then I'll be through money. I don't like handling money. But that money was gave that night by everybody enthusiastically, and I just want to ask them to stand up, be recognized. Brother Quasi, if y'all want to, his wife. Where's Evelyn? Where's Evelyn? And Taz, where's Taz? Right, so Taz here, the cameraman, one of the best. So when we gonna get a picture from the north?
You ready for it?
Yes, ready for it. All right. So these brothers and sisters we started that back then. They started me for it. They didn't hesitate. The money was given for those who pledged and didn't we expect you to come up. But y'all came from far. I appreciate it. Y'all want to say something real quick? Anybody, Taj, want to say anything? When they went to the northern trip, we all gonna come up here and move. It was such a different vibe from what you're accustomed to, and it's a special treatment you will get. So I encourage everybody who want to contact me. We'll make another trip soon to see the old man before he passes away.
Okay, and then at the last meeting, we collected 6,777 Ghana cedis and cash, and then another 950 Ghana cedis via Momo for a total of 7,027 Ghana cedis. We had to pay 1,200 Ghana cedis to the Du Bois Center. I got a phone specifically for the 126, so we have an official phone with its own Momo on it. So people, when they send money, it doesn't go to anybody personally. It goes to 126. I spent that was 1,000 for the phone, and then for the data, the SIM card and the voice was 42 Ghana cedis. Chair rentals for today was 460 Ghana cedis. We got this speaker so that we don't have to keep renting, spending money every time we have something to bring somebody in with the equipment. So we'll play a little music for y'all afterwards, but we figure best to have our own than to keep renting and spending money. So we try to reduce them. And Brother Prince gave us freely this facility to use. We will make a donation to Palace Africa and about 200 Ghana cedis, so that will come out. So right now, let's see, with 435.25. I want to tell y'all right now, 435, 4,350 minus 450 for the speaker. I'm going to make a 200 Ghana CD donation to Brother Prince for letting us use the venue today. So that will leave us with 3,700 Ghana CDs. And then I will be able to give a report on what we collected today. I'll put that in the WhatsApp group along with the money that I will get from Brother Yao. Okay? Yes, sister. Yes, I want everybody here. If you're not in the WhatsApp group, let me know so we can put you in it now. And then also, please fill out the application. We want you to fill it out today. Fill it out today. While you're sitting here, you can fill it out. Please do that. And then, matter of fact, there'll be a little music interlude here at the end where people can stay and fill that out. It's starting to rain a little bit. I don't know if y'all can feel that. So I don't know if it's gonna pass or whatever. Anybody that's, we put the link in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so we will add you. Yeah, we will add you. Yeah, brother, y'all, hope you want to get in. So let's see. Is there anything anybody else? Oh, anybody that's online right now watching the live stream, please contact us at 126plusmovement@gmail.com. 126plusmovement@gmail.com, so that you can get the application. And also, if you want to make a donation, we can send you the mobile money number to send your donation. And that's it. Coach One wanted to say something.
Two things real quick. Is there anybody in the audience that's an accountant? I know you are, but just an accountant. Are you? What was the committee you said?
Financial committee.
Are you interested in being one of the leaders of the financial committee? You as well. You raise your hand. Yes. And yes. Okay. Now.
All right. Good.
And is there anyone else that wants? Yes. Is there anyone? Ma'am. But okay. Okay. You need. Is there anyone else that wants to give money before I get his book back? No pressure. Okay. That's everything from what I just get.
Okay.
So we start on time. We're always going to start on time. 11 o'clock. We want to be known as an organization that's punctual. So we thank those who came prior to 11. For those who did not come on time, it's recorded. It'll be on the YouTube channel. 50 hours, is that correct?
Yes.
Anyone else want to say anything at this point before we close?
Any other comments, suggestions before we close out today? It has a limit of what? Oh, okay. Telegram. It's another messaging app. Thank you for that.
Folks, I can't help myself. I'm gonna say something probably gonna be considered controversial. At the beginning of every meeting, starting the last 2 weeks, we decided that we're going to have a moment of silence. And in that moment of silence, whatever your higher power is, you can just, in your own time, just meditate. I do not agree that we should pour libation, because that may not be someone else's belief or world, and it could turn people off. I was watching body language, some people. Likewise, I don't want someone who's Muslim to say, oh, let's all say assalamu alaikum and let's go. It would divide us. It's always divided us as a people. So I've been 30 years activism. I've seen what it does. So our recommendation is, if you want to pour libation, you can do it before, you can do it after, but you should not do it in the scope of the meeting, because you will turn some people out. If you're Muslim, same thing. I don't want us all to be all ever. If you're Christian, same thing. Let's not use that to divide ourselves anymore, folks. So that's my, as I'm watching and seeing the dynamics, that's my suggestion.
All right. All right. Anything else? All right. Oh, yes, sis. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I know you're behind the scenes that we're gonna have an advisory
If I see you again, maybe I can remember your name, but maybe now I can at least remember put a face with a name.
Okay, we can do that at the end. Let's close out the meeting and then we can stay and do that. That's fine.
We have some vendors here. The nice water, alkaline water.
Oh yeah, alkaline water. I think the girls got some
food. So please support the vendors.
Yeah. All right. Was there another point over here? Yes.
I was just gonna say, today is my first day seeing all of you. I've been sitting here in Africa since 2020. I didn't know y'all were here. I didn't know y'all were here. You didn't know I was here either. But I'm just trying to say that this is my first day seeing people who I think you understand me. You know, we're in a place where we're foreigners. You mentioned the word Ubuntu or something earlier. I don't buy that because I stopped being a nigga when I got on the plane. I ain't gonna be no nigga at home. So I ain't going there. I just wanted to say, here's your meeting. Here's my first time being here. Here's my first time seeing you guys. I don't know what this committee is all about. I don't know what this group is all about. I signed up into his WhatsApp thing yesterday when I came over here to find where Palace Africa actually is. I've been in enough taxis to take me around and around and around. So I came yesterday to try to run just to find this place because I gotta see these speakers. And here you are, here I am. Now I want to know my sister Yah or whomever. Okay. Is there a regular meeting of them?
Okay. Is this it right here?
We just meet one time for stuff like this and then we go back our separate ways.
Huh?
If we're trying, you want me to build something with you, I need to deal with you. I don't want to see you once in a blue moon. I want to see you regular. That's just me. I'm sorry, that's just me. So I don't know if what I'm saying to you guys, does this meet regular?
Well, a lot of us here know each other because we all, but we don't. Well, I don't know what to tell you, but we have events, we do things. Yeah, I have a gathering at the end of every month. These things have been going on. So if we listen, I'm sorry if you didn't know. If nobody, I don't know what to say, but but a lot of us here, we know each other. We've been knowing each other. Some of us years.
And on that point.
All right, I'm going to turn off the live stream. I think we're done. All right, family. That's it. I'm going to close it out.
Maybe before everyone departs, we should just maybe take maybe 30 minutes or so and just.
All right, family.
Maybe we just go through
Peace.
individually. You can just
Black
say,
power.
hey, my name is, or
Thanks for tuning in.